Afternoon. Imagine dedicating 40 or more hours per week to your job, risking serious injury on the field, putting your body and mind on the line, while the revenue you generate flows into someone else's bank account, and you only receive a scholarship. That's the reality for many of our student athletes today. My central idea is this: college athletes should be paid beyond simply just scholarship support, because they create enormous value for their colleges and themselves deserve a fair share of that value. As someone who cares about fairness in sports and education, I've reviewed the research and data on what college athletes provide and what they receive in return from their colleges or universities. First, I will establish the problem of major imbalance in value and compensation. Second, I'll examine causes and contributing factors. Third, I'll propose a solution and its advantages. And finally, I'll close by appealing to you to support a fair pay model for college athletes. Let's get started. Main point number one, the problem. College athletes generate tremendous revenue and assume major risks, yet are undercompensated and treated as amateurs. The college sports industry is huge. According to Investopedia, the NCAA generated about $1.3 million in revenue, with the top sports contributing massive amounts. Many student athletes also spend time comparable to a full-time job, limiting their ability to work and earn while in school. Student athlete time demands. Research shows that athletics and academics compete heavily for time. Scholarship does not equal full compensation. Although scholarships do cover tuition, room, and board in many cases, they do not equate to wages or cover all expenses. One study shows many colleges earn multi-million-dollar salaries, while the athletes only receive minimal monetary values. The majority of revenue comes from football and men's basketball, yet athletes across sports and demographics are not compensated consistently. Investopedia noted that 67% of U.S. adults support direct pay for these college athletes. Having established the problem, let's now look at what causes and reinforces this unfair system. Causes and contributing factors: the amateurism model, structural market imbalances, and regulatory barriers. The amateurism model. Historically, the NCAA's amateurism rules prevented athletes from receiving salaries, on the theory that they are students first and then athletes second. Market imbalance and commercial boom. Big conferences and media rights deals drive revenue, but athletes are not direct beneficiaries. For example, estimates for the 2025 to 2026 year show that Power 4 schools may pay athletes up to $20.5 million annually under new models, yet this is a small fraction of the actual overall revenue. Time demands and academic constraints. Student athletes face heavy athletic commitments, which then in turn limits their ability to pursue other income or work, which then exacerbates the compensation gap even more. According to the Drake Group, 31% of FBS athletes said that athletics prevented their choice of majors, and that 50% of them actually had difficulty scheduling the classes they actually wanted to take. Legal and regulatory inertia. Although changes are happening, the pace of change has been very slow. A 2024 CQ researcher brief states that nearly 2/3 of athletes surveyed believed that they should be paid directly. With the problem and its causes clear, we can now turn to a solution and why the solution works. Solution and advantages: implementing a pay model for college athletes and the benefits that flow from it. Here's the proposed model. Schools distribute a portion of athletic athletics revenue directly to athletes, in addition to scholarships, with safeguards for equity and academic integration. The revenue sharing proposals allow up to $20.5 million per every D1 school, initially, for the athlete compensation. Advantages: fairness and value alignment. Paying athletes aligns compensation with value created. For example, a study in the Journal of Economic Perspectives titled "The Case for Paying College Athletes" argues that market imperfections justify payment. And then here are some of the advantages. Risk mitigation and retention. Athletes assume injury risk and time demand. Compensation acknowledges that and may reduce exploitative dynamics. Just as a trainee in a company might receive hazard pay for risky work, athletes taking bodily risk deserve pay. Also, another few advantages: improved equity, academic focus, and outcomes. Paying athletes doesn't necessarily undermine academics. Research shows that athletes on average do as well or better academically than non-athlete students might. The NBER working paper found on average that athletes perform the same or better than non-athletes academically. So, we've seen what we can do. Now let's wrap it up and call you to action. In closing, the imbalance between what many college athletes give and what they receive is no longer defensible. They generate billions, assume significant risks, and commit their time, yet many walk away with simply only scholarships and very limited support. By shifting to a model where athletes receive a share of the revenue they help to create, we foster fairness, dignity, and align with the realities of modern college sports. So I invite you, support and advocate for policies and institutions that pay college athletes fairly, because when the game is big business, the players deserve to be paid. Thank you.